This is your Weather Xtreme video for Sunday, September the 9th. I'm meteorologist Brian Peters, and wow, doesn't it feel great out there this morning? Here's a look at our Skycam imagery this morning. Beautiful shot from Tuscaloosa, where Alabama won their game handily yesterday, and certainly a beautiful sunrise with clear skies across the state of Alabama following a cold front that passed through the area. And we've got a little bit of some fog in the valleys as we look down the spine of the Appalachians from Mount Cheaha. There's the cold front that moved through the area yesterday and now well into the Gulf of Mexico. We've got a little disturbance in the upper atmosphere that is bringing another reinforcing shot of cool, dry air. That's the cold front just passing St. Louis. And in the upper atmosphere, of course, we've got the big trough over the eastern half of the country, bringing us this air mass change finally after 3 months of summer and lots of hot weather. Certainly see that on the national temperature map with all the orange and yellows pushed down into Florida. Yesterday those were still in Tennessee and Kentucky, but we've seen the front move through, and you can certainly see that demarcation very easily as temperatures drop back nicely. Wow, look at this, the 50s. We haven't seen a 50 in Birmingham since June 2nd, so that's lovely this morning. 57 at my house, and 57 there at Tuscaloosa, 57 at Birmingham and Anniston as well. QPF pretty much tells you the forecast for the next 5 days. No rain is expected across the area. Yesterday we mentioned the Storm Prediction Center's moderate risk in New England, and certainly look what happened. Lots and lots and lots of damaging wind events. We also mentioned the possibility of isolated tornadoes, and 3 tornadoes were reported. They may end up with more or less, I'm not sure, because sometimes those reports end up being duplicates, but anyway, in New York City, so kind of an interesting day. The tropics remain still somewhat active. Of course, the front has gotten rid of the one in the Gulf. Leslie is still out there in the vicinity of Bermuda, but moving slowly as a tropical storm. Michael is way out in the Atlantic, and now the one off of Africa is likely to become something in the next 48 hours, or 40% chance anyway, and but it probably will stay in the Atlantic. All right, let's get the modeling, and the forecast is beautiful. Surface high pressure over the central part of the United States is influencing most of the eastern half of the country today, and that will bring us just a wonderful day with a high in the lower 80s and lowered humidities. The high moves across to about Chicago on Monday, keeping us in a cool weather pattern. So we'll start the day off again with generally 50s, although some spots in northeast Alabama could reach the upper 40s for some lows. Vic Bell had 52 this morning, so I wouldn't be surprised if he had a 49 or maybe 48. The surface high moves over to the mid-Atlantic states, and that does set up a possibility of, as it moves off on Wednesday, the possibility of a little bit of a wedge pattern. Now, the GFS isn't showing a distinct wedge pattern, but when the high gets in this particular position, there is a possibility of that. Switching over on Thursday to the upper air pattern, we can see that the ridge is pretty strong all the way up into New England, and we've got now that trough coming through. Yesterday we were thinking maybe Friday, Saturday. Now it looks more like Saturday, Sunday time frame as we hold it off just a little bit. And of course, down at the surface, we're still dry on Thursday, and the wedge pattern showing up a little more well-defined on Thursday, and a front across from the central Great Lakes all the way down into the Oklahoma and Texas panhandles. The ridge breaks down a little bit on Friday as that trough inches closer. The trough gets even closer on Saturday, and I think at that point we may see a slight opening, not a lot of moisture, so it looks like I'm thinking isolated showers at best as that front gets closer, but the moisture going to be somewhat limited. And then as we get into Sunday, that trough gets to the Mississippi River Valley, and of course with that we still are in isolated, perhaps maybe Sunday going to scattered as the Gulf opens up a little bit more and we see a little bit more moisture that would give us a little bit better chance for some showers on that Sunday. And yesterday we were talking about how the voodoo country was looking rather coolish. That look is gone. Now, are you surprised? The GFS flips and flops out there in voodoo country quite a bit. So once again, it's flipped and flopped. So Nobody's surprised, I don't think. Well, thanks for tuning in to the Weather Xtreme video. James Spann should be back with the next one first thing tomorrow morning. Enjoy this air mass change and the taste of fall, and Godspeed.
Thank you for trusting us to be your #1 source for news
in all of Central Alabama.
in back-to-back ratings periods.
More people watched ABC 3340
than any other station in Birmingham.